Great USA Reset. Why I'm getting out now. Oh boy. And with Scott Galloway. Let me just say, I love Scott Galloway. And I also disagree with Scott Galloway all the time. So let's see how this goes. It's a clip from a large podcast on one of my favorite podcasts, My First Million.
Been saying this over and over, is that if you're just an SPY or in the NASDAQ and you think you're diversified because you're in an index fund, you're not. Because I believe the US is going to go flat for the next decade. And if you look at the PE of 26 versus Germany at 22, Japan at 18, China at 14, and you look at the head up your ass, sclerotic, reckless, ridiculously fucking stupid decisions of this administration and how it...
And this is why I don't like Scott Galloway. Look, if you put your political bias and you work that into your investment thesis or trade theses, you're going to lose a lot of money, and you're just gonna fucking suck ass and not make as much money as you possibly can. It's just the reality of it. It's just true, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're right or if you're wrong, and trading, that really never matters. It just matters that you need to see things objectively. You know, those PE ratios of those other countries, who gives a shit? They don't have a Nvidia who's worth 4 trillion and changing the entire world. So of course their market's not going to be worth as much. All the best innovation in the world comes from the US. But anyways, let them cook. Let them cook.
It's undermining our brand of rule of law and consistency. That is going to result in massive multiple contraction. And it doesn't matter how good the company is. If the broader market is engaging, is registering multiple contraction, you can't outrun it. So I have been massively transitioning my US holdings into Asian, European, and also the only companies I invest in have at least 50% of their business abroad, because I think the US is about to go into a 10 or 15 year down cycle.
That thesis is absolute trash, but there is a caveat to that, in that this guy's already made a killing. He's kind of older, and he's probably in a stage of more wealth protection than actually capital generation, right? He's not in, a phase of his life where he needs to make a shit ton of money. He's just in a phase of his life where he probably just needs to preserve it. And so that might be a huge, he might have different objectives, but I'm sorry. If your administration is printing infinite money, why would there ever be a stop to the multiple growth that we've seen from the broader market? It's not. It's going to keep going up. We're in a bubble. The bubble's going to keep going up. And the most efficient thing you can do is make sure you're in that bubble, making as much money as possible, not getting out of it and missing the entire run up. He could be 5, 6, a decade early to this thesis, if it occurs at all, which right now, I'm sorry, Trump's only in there for 4 years. You don't think there's going to be someone that you actually like after that? He's gonna destroy everything within 4 years. How many times have we heard that and that not been true?
Well, but to your question, would I do it again?
I would say 4 years ago.
If I did it again, what I would do, quite frankly, is I would probably just buy residential real estate for rental. And to me, that's the most, it's not.
So go buy the bubble in the real estate market and put it, and have to do all the work incorporated with that, and learn that whole, stocks are so much simpler than real estate, man. And they require so much less effort.
A good return, but because our society is rejectionist and the entrants always want to come up with a way to make it harder for the entrants. There's been such incredible NIMBYism in America that continues, that real estate just gets unnatural lift. And so I think residential real estate over the long term, and there's very few investments you can lever up 5 to 1. There's very few investments you can depreciate at 2 or 3% a year, regardless if they're going up in value. And also just from a mental wellness standpoint, I like the idea of being in investments that aren't marked every day. I check my phone way too much. I check my phone 5 or 6 times a day, and I get all bummed out when my covered calls on Oddity, I would have made $1 million more. It bums me. I ruined my day yesterday. Whereas the apartment rental units I own in Delray Beach, I don't know what they're worth today. Maybe they went down 10%, maybe they didn't. But I like, if I had it to do all over again, I probably just would have been taking all my excess cash flow and done massively diversified ETFs in all over the world. And I would have bought more and more residential rental real estate.
You said something great I saw when I was prepping for this, that you were talking.
Then you would have made way, 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 way less money. So I don't know. Maybe have some appreciation for the massive wins you've had, dude. I love this guy. He's just so nihilistic and so negative.
About the sort of checking your phone every day. You're like, look, if you're the stock market's a roller coaster right now, and like, you know, there's like a political sort of like circus going on, so it's easy to feel some type of way, and you've had to
just ignore it. You don't have to check your phone. I hate when people operate like this. You don't have to check your phone. The stock market goes up over 10-year horizons. Even if you buy tops, it recovers for the U.S., right? Now, he thinks the U.S. is going to go into collapse and probably do what Japan did and trade sideways for 40 years. But he's saying, no, we're going to go at a decline for 15 years when the average bear market's like less than 2, which is a crazy, wild prediction to make. Okay. And I guess, yeah, foreign countries trade at massive discounts, but typically there's a reason for that, dude. Markets are efficient, right? So they're being efficient in that pricing, and they're allocating what they think that market is worth. If it wasn't the case, there'd be more money there.
Good point of view. I don't know if you said this off the cuff or if this is something you've sort of really thought about, but you were like, you said something along the lines of, look, if you got your health, all right, you already got 51% of the game. If you have your health, let's start with that. All right, you got some friends, some family, you're having dinner with people, like, you know, and you started sort of stacking back up rather than being like, cool, I'm in a mood swing along with the sort of like rolling average of the index. You know what I mean? If
you're an investor and you want to hold something for 20 years, why the fuck are you looking at it? You don't have to look at it. There's literally no reason to look at it. I look at it because it's my fucking job, but I don't understand why these people are presenting themselves with more opportunities to make emotional decisions that probably aren't good logical decisions that are better for their future selves. They're literally creating more opportunities for them to do dumb things by constantly checking on the status of the market or watching the news or the politics. How much does this shit actually affect you in your day-to-day life? How much money have you made from watching the news? Probably almost fucking none. You know, like almost none. And I'm a fucking trader. I have to watch the news. And even then, I've made money off news, obviously, but it's still not worth it for especially for an investor. Like, why are you giving these things so much of your attention, dude? You got enough money to fuck off and do whatever you want, make a donation and then piss off, you know? It's so annoying and so stupid. I think we're almost done with this clip, by the way, because this topic's really drifting off markets into dumb things that I don't care, just bad life philosophies.
Can you sort of like give your take on that? I paraphrased you.
Well, I've been reading some Buddhism recently, and I love this one thing I read really struck me, and that is the person with good health has thousands of problems. The person with bad health has one problem. And you guys are younger than me. When I went into my 50s, something happens in your 50s, and it's really awful. 2 or 3 of your friends die. Just like weird genetic shit pops up. I had a friend who was healthy, ripped, handsome, happy. This weird nerve disorder, Barros Ghislaine, took him out. Another friend, we're in Tulum, 51, having a great time, great life, 3 kids, killing it professionally. A little bump on his head. What is that? Oh, I don't know. I got to go and check it out. It's leukemia, but they think they can get rid of it with pharmaceuticals. I don't need chemo or anything. Oh, it's not going away. I need chemo. Oh, it's come back stronger. I have to get a stem cell transplant. And they basically gave him a very intense, and then it's like, oh, it's back, I'm done, and he's gone. Like diagnosis to death, 6 months. And you realize, like, okay, if you're waiting to have washboard abs, if you're waiting to find the perfect spouse, if you're waiting to have more money, don't wait. I mean, really try and take advantage of the moment, tell people you love them, be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, enjoy yourself, because it's going. I mean, you guys are sort of at the age where time starts to fall off a cliff, but I think a lot about the notion of freedom. I always thought that money would give me the freedom I wanted. And it has given me some freedom from the economic anxiety I've always had. And it's given me a lot of options. But what I've figured out as I've gotten older is that true freedom is releasing yourself from the conventions and expectations of a broader society around what I should write or what I should say or how I should condition something and say, you know, I constantly, when I talk about young men or I talk about what I think is going on in the world, I feel a need to add a sentence such that I water it down such that the far right or the far left don't come for me and shame me. And I still haven't found the freedom of releasing myself from the conventions of expectations. Now, I still want to be kind because I like that. I want to be a good person, but I still have a lack of freedom around really, my goal with my content is to catalyze a productive conversation that shapes better solutions. And I might be wrong. The conversation I'm catalyzing, the way I catalyze it, I might get it wrong. But that's my goal. And yet I'm still too fucking worried about being shamed or getting it wrong or saying something stupid or disappointing people or not being liked by strangers. So I still am not free. So I think a lot about what does it mean as I barrel towards the end to have real freedom, because if you're just focused on getting to a certain point and think that you're going to find the perfect X, Y, or Z, no, you're here to learn. You're here to enjoy yourself. You're here to be as kind as possible. You're here to surround yourself with as many people as possible who love you and let you love them. But I'm trying to get off this hamster wheel of constant ambition and engaging in true freedom. And I'm still not there.
But do you think
I think we should end on that. And that was a perfect example of why I still really like Scott Galloway, even though I disagree with him all the time, because all of that was amazing. Keeping up good health, thinking about what really matters in life. And granted, I don't think there's anything wrong with ambition. He's just at a different part of his life. Personally, I'm in the ambitious part of my life. But everything else, I don't really have anything to add. That's appropriate philosophy. Really good guy. He's got really great books, by the way. You should go check them out. Read them. Algebra of Wealth is one of my favorite books. If you don't want to read the book, go watch the YouTube video. Check it out. Maybe we should react to that. Algebra of Wealth. That is the name of it, right? Let's get it right before we move on. If I can spell. Yeah, go watch this video. It's amazing. One of my favorite videos on the internet that became when this video first came out, I used to watch it like 2-3 times a year. It's a great video. Check it out. All right, I've said that too many times now. I should have ended this 30 seconds ago. Bye. Oh, follow me for more React content. God bless.